Hello there everyone, I hope you're all doing well. Today I want to share with you 10 items that you can get sustainably at thrift stores. Each of these items are spell components or things that you might go through rapidly or use multiples of throughout your practice. As somebody who practices green witchcraft and follows a very earth-centered practice, it's important to me to practice it in as sustainable a way as possible. And one big way that I do this is by searching for materials that are secondhand and ready to enter a new home. You'd be so surprised by the number of things that are at secondhand stores that you don't really need to buy new. Not only are they going to be a lot less money for you, they are also going to be less of a burden on the environment because they're already there and you aren't creating this larger demand. So if this is something that you are also passionate about and are interested in hearing about, this video is for you. But before we go any further, this video is sponsored, so let's hear a little bit about that first. Thank you to Wild Cosmetics for sponsoring this video. Wild wants to shake up the throwaway culture of everyday bathroom products with refillable products that actually work. And boy do they! Most important to me, Wild's products are sustainable. Not only have they saved over 120 tons of single-use deodorants from going to landfills, but their refills are biodegradable. Their products are also powered by nature. They're packed with natural nourishment and are certified vegan and cruelty-free. And even better yet, their natural products don't compromise on effectiveness and keep you fresh for 24 hours. I've absolutely been adoring their full-size deodorant. I have been using it daily. It smells divine and works super well. Plus, the refills are so easy to install and thoughtfully designed. As you can tell, I am very appreciative of their focus on sustainability. I really love how much their products have helped me to reduce my single-use plastic waste. I also really appreciate that their deodorant and body wash contain no single-use plastic and come in premium reusable cases with compostable refills. There's no aluminum salts, parabens, or sulfates, and as you know, all of their formulas are certified vegan and cruelty-free. Best of all, they want to work to keep the planet wild, and with every purchase, they plant a tree. So not only do you get to make a sustainable switch, but you are also helping to grow the wild forest thanks to their partnership with On a Mission. I've really been enjoying their products, and I am so happy to have made this sustainable switch. So if you're looking to do the same thing and this sounds interesting to you, go ahead and click the website link and enter the code GREENWITCH to get 20% off all their products. This only goes for your first subscription. The promo code also only lasts 48 hours, so you better head over there quick. Thank you so much to Wild for sponsoring this video, and let's get back into it. Alrighty, welcome back. So let's dig into these 10 items that you can find secondhand. Now this first one might be a little bit of a surprise for you, or it might not if you are someone who regularly goes to thrift stores. But one item that I find quite readily and often are candles. Candles are a very regular part of my craft, and I know are a common part of many crafts for a lot of you all as well. And thrift stores are a surprisingly abundant place for candles. Often they will supply both partially burned candles and new ones as well, and I think there are uses for both. You can usually find them in holiday decor sections or in dining sections, and often they'll come in a ton of different colors if that's important to your practice. I know a lot of people don't really like to burn already burnt candles. In this case, you can always melt down the partially burnt candles and make a new one, or you could just use them for lighting. The next thing that you will find a ton of at thrift stores are jars and bottles, especially canning jars. I have always found an overabundance of canning jars. I use those constantly to store herbs, to make spell jars, or to craft other concoctions in, such as oils or tinctures. Even honeys, you'll see me constantly working with jars. A lot of mine are secondhand that I got at thrift stores for super cheap. I have been able to come away with entire sets of mason jars before, and I also have a ton of bottles from thrift stores as well. They're one of my favorite things to get, and I never seem to be able to leave a thrift store without at least one jar or a bottle. There are so many unique options, and I feel like through the years I've been able to build this very diverse collection of jars and bottles, and I have used all of them in my practice. I'm actually starting to run pretty low, and Should probably make a run soon to get some more. Next is cloth. There are often a lot of cloth options at thrift stores, and personally I like to use cloth in making spell bags, and I think it's kind of fun when you go to a thrift store and find something unique that fits a specific spell or that you're drawn to, take it home and keep it for something that you may use in the future. It's usually, again, very affordable, and I feel like it feels a little bit more special when it's a found item like that. I do tend to prefer natural materials, and that can be a little trickier to find, but sometimes you'll luck out and get a big thing of fabric. In a similar vein here, there's also often partially used rolls of twine or thread or even yarn or ribbon. These are all great things to tie spells together, such as burning herb bundles or hanging herb bundles. I use them quite a bit in my wreath making or when tying off spell bags. There are truly endless uses for these, and I find there's always an abundance of really most anything you could dream of in the string, twine, thread arena. The next item that you may be able to find, this one is a little bit rarer, but I see it on a regular enough basis that I feel that it's worth mentioning, and that is an incense stick. Usually you'll find either completely unused boxes or partially used boxes of them. If you're somebody who likes to burn incense on the regular, this is a really great way to get it. Personally, in my practice, I primarily craft my own loose incense blends. I don't very regularly use incense sticks these days, but I used to use them quite a bit, and I do still enjoy them from time to time. And I think that that's a great item to keep your eye out for. The next item that I always see, again, maybe a little bit of a strange one, but one that's very useful to me, are matches. I burn through matches very quickly. I light a lot of candles, and they are something that I always seem to be running out of, and it's nice to be able to pick up a partially used pack, or sometimes they'll even have a pretty full one. I know it's a bit of a strange thing to think of looking for, but I really do enjoy them, and sometimes you find some really unique boxes for the matches as well. I have a couple of favorites that I've found through the years that I just keep and refill with new matches because they're super adorable, and I just enjoy the energy that they bring to my practice. Another item that you may not think to look for, but I find very frequently and have often gathered, is paper. If you are somebody who likes to write down your spells and incantations or burn paper with your spell upon it, getting paper at the thrift store could be a really good option for this. You can also use the paper in your Book of Shadows or grimoire. I definitely do this. I use a lot of art material paper in my book, and a lot of times I'm able to find sketchbooks or drawing pads that are of the material I like to use, and it's another way to get your hands on something that otherwise would be going to a landfill and is really beneficial to your practice. Paper's an odd one, but I use it all day, every day, and if you do too, this is a great place to find it as well. Now this one is a very practical one, and it's, well, bowls. I love to make money bowls or burn candles with herbs around them in bowls, and a lot of times I do like to use color correspondences here, and thrift stores are filled to the brim with bowls. I've made a couple of really good finds in this realm of item, and I would really recommend you looking for that as well. And bowls can be used in so much of Magick. They can be used to mix spell ingredients, or to if you are someone who works in kitchen witchery, of course, using a bowl is a big part of that. I also use them to house spells that I am disposing of. If I don't have a available place to dispose of them right away, I'll kind of let them rest for a bit. I mean, ultimately bowls have pretty endless uses, but I do really enjoy them and have made some really good finds at thrift stores. Another thing kind of akin to the jars and bottles are tins and containers. I personally primarily use tins to store salves and balms, but if you know me, you know I make a lot of those and I can kind of go through them quite quickly. I also really enjoy gifting balms, and so I don't always get my tins back, and so it's nice to be able to build a collection of them and freely give them away to people that I care about. And containers are wonderful for housing, of course, any kinds of ingredients or spell components. There are times where I'll keep if I have a regular spell going that requires certain workings each day, I like to have a container that houses all of that. And there's just so many beautiful options at thrift stores, and I mean, I'm gonna come away with a container anyways, so whenever I can weave it into my practice, I enjoy it a little bit more. And then finally, we have altar decor. This is perhaps the thing I come away with the most. I am somebody who likes to kind of spruce up my magical workspace with the seasons throughout the year, and I am always finding something new to put in that place. I think I could make a whole video in and of itself of the altar decor I have collected through the years in thrift stores. I have definitely shared some in the past, and the majority of what you see in my videos is collected slowly over time like this. I have found so many vases and incense burners and candle care or candle holders, little decorative items that tie to my practice and my craft, along with tools that I use pretty regularly. Across the board, you can make a pretty complete setup with just thrift store items, and I think that that's a pretty powerful thing, especially if you're just starting out and don't really have the funds or don't really know what you want yet. And if you can go and spend some time being drawn to these little trinkets and things that are around you to slowly accumulate that, then I think it's perfect. It's so accessible and it's also very functional. So with that, there are 10 spell components that can be found at thrift stores, roughly. There's kind of more than 10, but 10 sections of things. This is a little bit of a simpler video. I needed one of those today, and I hope you've enjoyed. Personally, I kind of really enjoy putting these together. I think it's a fun thought exercise for me, and it also helps me to kind of appreciate the aspects of my craft a little bit more. So I hope that it does that for you as well. I hope you've gained some good ideas from this and will go forth and thrift and have some nice sustainable times with your practice in this sense. These days, consumerism has been pretty crazy in my opinion, and I think taking the time to slow down and look at what is already there is a great step in kind of slowing that down a bit. So if you feel similar to me, I hope this has helped spark some inspiration. So with that, thank you so much for watching. If you can and would like to, I'd appreciate it if you checked out my Patreon. There I share art, herbal profiles, book recommendations, and monthly workshops. I also have another channel where I share more vlogs, my day-to-day life, more magic, herbalism, all of those good things. And I also have a book. It's all about herbal magic and spellcraft, so if any of this is up your alley, it's all linked in the description down below. Thank you again for watching. I hope you're having a lovely day, and I can't wait to see you again soon.